Now we're going to add a form element. Okay. Again, this right here just automatically assumes I'm going to add a paragraph. So I want to come down through here in some of these others, and you'll see widgets, you'll see themes, theme elements, navigation, embeds, and I'm looking for form. Man, I wish I could just find the form element. Scroll all the way to the top and type form in the search bar, and you will notice it has various things, and form is the top one. So let's go ahead and add that in place. And it's going to ask you what kind of form you might want. I would encourage you go in and try some of these out. Contact form is the most popular. That's why it's the first one. But an RSVP form might be something, let's say for a wedding or a party. A registration form is a good one. An appointment form, also another one. So think about it. If you're building a site like for an automotive thing, you might want to be able to put in an appointment form or a feedback form. So I'm going to use a contact form. Sure, I want you to go in and try some of these others out, but I'm going to do a contact form. First off, it automatically assumes that this form is going to send to the email address on file. So I can probably change that, but I'm not going to. But remember, each of these flyout menus, they are contextual. They change based on the module or the block that you're working on. So here I've got some of these other just typical things, but you'll also notice that in here I can go in and I've got multiple other items. Wait a second. I could select this and it's a block. Yes, because a form is actually a pattern of multiple items. It's an input field, it's another input field, and it's those input fields with their labels. Okay? So here I've got this one required. This right here is the required. I can unrequire it. I can go in here and I can change the styles. I can lock it, I can rename it, and then we get down here to this button and we realize that, wait a second, we've got a button here. Let's find out what it does. Again, in here, this is as much as we've got, but this is a button. Wait a second, that's the button, but this is the form. So in each one of these, if I click right here, I've got this is the is the parent block, and then I can come in and I can go to and say this one's a label and it's locked. I can unlock it, and I can unlock various things. I can unlock its removal, or I can unlock its movement, or unlock all. I'm just going to cancel because I don't really want to change those things. Here I've got a button and I can unlock it as well. I can change its alignment to centered and it'll center on the form, or I can change its alignment back to left, which I would recommend. And you can also change other things about it. Like, let's take a quick look at this, and let's look over here at the sidebar. I can change it to an outline button or a filled button. I can make its border have a make it, oh no, this is the border distance. There are other things that I can change, like the border radius, typography. Let's go to, I can change the font to something else. Sure, let's do Alberta Sands, or we change it to Cabin. We change it to Bodoni, which is a very bad font for a button face. I'm going to uncheck font. In other words, I'm saying I want to customize these. Letter case, I can make it all caps. I can make it all lowercase. These are forced things. I can make it capitalized or nothing. All right. So capitalized and nothing seem to look the same. So go in and see what you can do. You can change these various things. And whoops, select that button again. I'm going to come back here. I've got my text color, my background, and I want my background to be blue. Maybe I want it to be a different blue, and I want it to be, let's say, this blue. You can do that if you know the hex code that you want. You can change that to whatever you want. I'm going to change it to C4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. It's kind of a dark red. And now that's my color. Oh, wait, I can also change my border radius. That's where that is. And so you can have it look like a pill. You can have it look like just barely rounded, way more rounded, that sort of stuff, or completely square. I'm going to give it an 8-pixel rounding. And there we go. Wait a second. Let's look here. Width setting. I can actually make it, force it to be 350 wide, or go back to nothing defined and it just takes on the shape of whatever's around it. And I can, if I know a CSS class that I want, that's a little bit advanced for what we're talking about. But now I've done that, I've added my form, and I've got it saved. But that form is really close to that image. Let me do one more module, space, and I'm going to put a spacer between these two. Notice that I drug it between these two elements and that blue line popped up. So I put it in there, and I can edit that spacer by just dragging that, or I can come in here and I can say I want it to be 42 pixels away. Now you see there's some space between this. I can add a header and call this form, oops, add it in place. There we go. You know what? It's not. There we go. Let's do this. Add a heading, and now I want to call this the Contact Us form. All right. So far you've seen us add text, lists, images, and a form. I want you to be able to add in things, go in and explore it to the point where you understand it yourself. You've seen me explore the form component as if I'd never touched it before. I tried to act like I'd never touched it before. And then I started editing and I started exploring. I started saying, you know what, I want to bold text, or maybe I don't want to bold that text. And I'd like for you to be able to create a form, or create a, not just a form, but I want you to find a different block. Let me show you another way to get to those blocks. See this blue plus? Click the blue plus, and now you have all of them. And just scroll down here. If you want to just do the eternal scroll and then just grab a hold of something and add it in place, whether it's a widget, whether it's a design element, whether it's columns. I want you to add something in and then make it so that you understand it and then you can explain it. Why would you use it and how do you set it up? Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one. See you on Monday.